Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Den here, and today I'm going to be doing a brand new theory video about Doctor Who, because it's 4 days away from the Timeless Children. That is obviously the final episode of Series 12 of Doctor Who. That is going to be an emotional one, apparently. It's going to be an emotional finale, a lot of things are going to happen, and I do have a little theory regarding the character of Brendon. Yeah, I know. I was going to cover this a lot sooner, but I've kind of been busy doing other things. But yeah, Brendon was a mysterious character that was introduced in last week's episode, Ascension of the Cybermen, that kept on cutting in between the character of Brendon and the Cybermen war, or like the aftermath of the Cyber War. And we had the Doctor discovering Gallifrey, Yaz and Graham being stranded on a ship full of Cybermen. But yeah, the portion with Brendon was really interesting to me. So let's talk about what we know about the character. So he was found as a baby in like a cradle in the middle of a road, and his dad, or his adopted dad, found him and was like, okay, yeah, we're going to adopt this kid with his wife as well. And he was raised by them, so there's no mention of any parents or anything like that. And he ends up joining the police, and during a job he ends up getting shot, and he falls off a cliff because, yeah, that's what he's near. And he falls off a cliff, lands at the bottom. He's discovered by one of the police officers, and they think he's dead. No, he just gets up and walks it off. Yeah, he's fine. And this leads to a weird ending for Brendon, or, well, for his ending for that episode anyway. And it's where he retires from the police. He's now an old man. And then the police officer that hired him and his dad, that hasn't really aged, well, both of them haven't really aged, they end up taking him to some room, some back office, and they end up torturing him. And that's one thing that I really want to talk about, because to me personally, with the watch that was displayed and the way the doors looked as well, and just the whole way the electrocution played out, I do feel like that was some form of chameleon arch that was being used. And I do feel like that it's a chameleon arc, but it's not going to make Brendon human. I feel like Brendon all along was a Time Lord, and that Brendon in himself is the Doctor, or an early version of the Doctor. I feel like just saying pre-Hartnell is, I don't think it's as part of another regeneration cycle yet. But I feel like the character of Brendon is simply a variant of what the Doctor was in a previous life, pretty much, like way before all the regenerations, and that Brendon is being experimented on by Time Lords. And the reason why I say that is because I can't remember if this was in the classic series or even the modern series, Gallifrey got mistaken for being Ireland, and literally everyone there had Irish accents that was really interesting on picking up. And again, the use of the torture, the electrocution, it looked like an early version of a chameleon arc. So I feel like if that's being used, they're wiping his memory to maybe do it again, or do the experiment again, just to try and get something out of it. And what could they possibly want to do? Well, obviously, throughout the series, we've been told the lie of the Timeless Child is what the Gallifreyans are built upon, what the Time Lords have been built upon. That's the history of their species that is a lie. So maybe, yeah, Brendon is the Timeless Child, but how could this lie be something that could really damage the Time Lord's reputation? I do feel like it has to be tied to regeneration, and that this character is being tortured continuously to get the ability to extrapolate that from him to regenerate. And once the Time Lords get that, they get their 12 regeneration cycle to get loads of regeneration energy from him. And in order to hide the fact that the timeless child has been tortured, they'll wipe his memory, and then maybe he fully regenerates. Perhaps. Now, I can't really say how the simple surviving the gunshot and the cliff fall didn't change his appearance. Like, that hasn't really come to head yet. But maybe torturing him has changed the way his body works, perhaps. And that's regenerating DNA that is being used on all Time Lords, and that Brendon's got that. And that might end up him regenerating into another incarnation. I don't know if it would go straight to Ruth or not, but we do know that Ruth is definitely before any of the modern Doctors. So perhaps Ruth is the next in line after Brendon, and she might escape Time Lord custody and, being tortured, and she ends up on Earth. She uses the chameleon arc, and obviously the Time Lords are looking for her, that we remember in Fugitive of the Jadoon. But then there's something else that is kind of a loophole. The TARDIS. And I feel like this could be explained. I know it's not the best explanation, but perhaps this TARDIS that the Doctor steals, that is a police box, but then William Hartnell's Doctor steals it again when he leaves Gallifrey. Maybe Ruth's Doctor ends up being captured and regenerates into a young boy, and that's William Hartnell's regeneration. And the memories from Ruth's era and the Brendon era as well are wiped completely. So William Hartnell's Doctor, the first official Doctor, doesn't remember any of that. And because it's all gone on behind the scenes, Time Lords like the Master won't know. And that's what makes things very interesting. And I feel like with the TARDIS that the Doctor stole was the same broken TARDIS that Ruth had. And yeah, in Name of the Doctor, you could see it was the standard cylinder model. Maybe the Time Lords changed that back somehow without properly fixing the chameleon circuit, just to hide the fact that that TARDIS ever left Gallifrey, and to try and remove as much evidence as possible that they tortured this being that ended up being the Doctor. And yeah, this is probably the most random, sketchiest theory going, but I feel like it would make a lot of sense. And whilst I'm not a fan of trying to put regenerations before William Hartnell, I can kind of see them doing something like that would change the Doctor's history, because this is the finale that is teased to change everything about the show and is going to change everything about the Doctor as a character. So hopefully there's a good explanation behind this. But yeah, leave a comment down below of what all theories, if you got any more. But yeah, leave a comment of what you thought of the video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, rate and subscribe for more nerd content, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.